So let's say I don't want to do this video. Manju forced me to do this. What style of leadership is this? Yeah. That's how I remember strategic management. So yeah. So fundamentally, when it comes to strategic management, you definitely have to know the terms. You definitely have to do what you have to do. Over and above this, there is one thing which you know to have crystal clarity. So I'm trying to super simplify what you have learned so that when you look at the question, you should be able to spot it and then subdivide it. Okay. Even without getting into the subject name called strategic management, I'm sticking to strategy. So strategy always has three elements. Okay. Strategy has three elements. Now, to simplify strategy, strategy is a plan to meet desired objectives. Strategy is a plan to meet objectives. This is how you remember. Okay. Now, in this plan to meet objectives, there are three components. One is called formulation. Formulation, implementation, evaluation. Formulation, implementation, evaluation. When you spot a question in strategic management as a chapter subject in your question paper today, just get to this. Is it a part of formulation? Is it a part of implementation? Is it a part of evaluation? Whether it's a question or a case study or any bit. So if you think in these lines, you'll know where to search. Now, in terms of formulation, now I'm combining this with your chapters. In terms of formulation, you'll have three chapters. One is Introduction to Strategic Management. In Introduction to Strategic Management, all you did is create a strategic intent. What is strategic intent? Setting up your strategic fundamentally strategic intent is all about creating an objective for your company. How do you create that objective? Starting with a vision, mission, goals, action plan, all of this will comes into this. You set a strategic intent. Now, once you set a strategic intent, the next thing is you need to understand the types of strategy: proactive strategy, reactive strategy. Proactive strategy, for example, setting up the intent is proactive because you're starting it, you're doing it much before somebody tells you. So this is proactive strategy. Now, proactive strategy, the objective is how do you use the internal strengths and weaknesses to understand the external opportunities and threats. This is about proactive strategy. Now, proactive strategies will continuously explore opportunities to meet the desired objective which you set in the strategic intent. So, this is the nature of proactive strategy. Reactive strategy is all about change management. What is change management? The world is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. To handle this uncertainty, now uncertainties will largely come from external factors. That's why you do external analysis, strategic analysis, external environment, because uncertainties will most likely come from external environment. So this is exactly how the whole scenario is connected. So chapter 1 is all about developing a strategic intent. Now strategy, sorry, before you formulate a strategy, there are more steps. Just because you develop a strategic intent, it is not strategy. What is strategic intent? Now, let's say HLS has an intention to change a person's life in 1 year. This is strategic intent. Now, is it a strategy? No, this is just the intent. We intend to change someone's life. Now, how the hell are we going to do it? Much before we start doing it, we have to do two things: internal analysis, external analysis. Now, internal analysis for any company, I told you there are three aspects: people, process, culture. So, first we'll start with internal analysis in terms of understanding these people. Now, as a question, how do you convert this concept in a question? When you look at people, there is something called stakeholders. Stakeholders are somebody who are influenced by the company or get influenced by the company. Who get influenced? It could be both. Who get influenced by the company. Now, in this Mendelov guy has created a matrix based on two things. What are the two things?
Power and interest.
Power and interest. So it starts with key players. What happens here?
High power and high interest.
And the least is
Low power and low interest.
how do you keep people? Whom should you keep satisfied? High power, low interest. This is exactly how you think. Low power, high interest. You give information, keep informed. This is exactly how people can move from one scale to other. This is about the stakeholder thing which you learned. Now, after this, there's something called Porter's five forces. Now, I'm mixing it because once you have a reasonable understanding of internal company, you just look at the external competition and also correlate with your thing because you have to develop a core competency. What are core competencies? Unique abilities, which is a combination of skills, technology, manpower, and resources, everything. Okay, core competencies. The reason why you have to build core competency is to create product differentiation. What is product differentiation? Product differentiation is one of the factors or one of the approaches to build competitive advantage. Now, what are the other ways to build competitive advantage? What is the first one? Competitive advantage. First one. How do you build competitive advantage? How do you build competitive advantage? Get to that. How do you build competitive advantage? No, don't. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid. Don't think loosely and write a bullshit word. What is market penetration? I'm asking you, how do you build competitive advantage? What is competitive advantage? Start. See, it's okay not to get an immediate answer when you see a trigger in the question paper. Don't think loosely. The whole question will go. You'll get zero, not even one. So when you see competitive advantage, what is competitive advantage? How do you build? First, think about what is competitive advantage. What is competitive advantage? Think generally. Okay, that is one competitive advantage. What are the other ways of building a competitive? One is product differentiation. Okay, good. What are the other ways of competitive advantages? No, again, you're bullshitting. This is exactly what you have to do. Now, this is what you have to avoid in strategic management. This is what you have to clearly avoid in strategic management. If you're not able to understand cost or a competitive advantage, if you're not able to understand this term, don't write a single word on the paper. Stop, think, break it down, do some rough work and do it. Operate SM like FM, only then you'll get 15 or 20. Operate FM like SM or SM like FM. When you see FM, you don't start writing, right? You think of a formula. Even SM has formulas in terms of how things have to be evolved. So this is exactly what we discussed. Cost leadership with the first one, right? How do you get competitive advantage? Is through cost leadership. What is cost leadership? You have to get the products at the lowest possible cost to the price sensitive customers. There's something else linked to cost. What is it? What is the difference between the first one and the other one?
It is low cost, price sensitive.
Hmm.
It is low cost, high quality.
High quality at the lowest possible cost. High quality. Here there is nothing called quality. We're not focused on the quality. These are the two things. Okay. Apart from that, there are two more things. What are the other two competitive advantage strategies? What is focus strategy? What is, when I say focus, what is a focus?
We concentrate on certain
Absolutely.
segments.
It's called niche segment of customers. Okay. You have to be very clear about these four: cost leadership, differentiation, focus strategy, and best cost strategy. This has to be very, very clear in your mind. This is one. And apart from this, you need to have the five forces model. What are the five forces of Porter? In your mind, no, don't, again, in your mind, it is very important to remember a sequence. First, existing rivalry, new entrants, other substitutes, supplier bargaining power, buyer bargain. Very, very clear and straightforward, right? When you see this is exactly how you have to look at it. Now, apart from this, when you have to scan the external environment, here most of the internal environment can be done through SWOT. Now, when you look at external environment, what is the framework? How do you scan external environment? What is the tool for you to scan external environment? Pestle analysis. So you know all the expansion of pestle analysis, right? So until now, there are more topics. Again, there are more topics which you can discuss in detail. But until now, you are still working on developing a strategic intent and analyzing it through external and internal sources. Once all of this is done, you have to make strategic choices. Let's say now we decided to transform someone's life in 1 year. We did internal analysis of knowing people, process, culture. We decided, okay, we have the necessary internal environment to achieve this. We'll get the external environment. External environment, we understood all the political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental challenges. It is meeting us. Okay, we're ready. Now we have to take strategic choices. What is a strategic choice? For example, here, okay, we decided to transform someone's life. Should we go online or should we go offline? So should we do it for inter or final? Should we do it for CA or MBBS? So there are a lot of choices you have to take, right? Now here we're a startup, but generally the chapter which you studied, it is for an existing company. Now existing company, the choices should be based on the life cycle. It's called product life cycle, or in this chapter, they are given 4 stages, right? Your introduction to the market stage, this is one. The second one is growth stage. The third one is maturity. The fourth one is decline. Now for each of this, you have to pick up a strategic choice. Introduction, what would be a good strategy? Expansion. Then growth. For growth, what do you do? Again, I'm talking about, again, okay. Don't respond immediately. Think about it. What are the 4 stages of the company which we're discussing here? What are the first stage?
Introduction,
Second stage?
growth,
Third?
maturity,
Fourth.
Decline.
So what is the right, where would you use stability strategy?
Maturity. So,
Why would you use it?
because to hold the, I mean, to safeguard the interest of the organization.
Hmm. So you have to understand why are you using what kind of strategy. Again, when you say stability strategy, one of the advantages of this is already using models which have already worked. But what is the downside? You cannot grow aggressively. So once you understand the objective is aggressive growth or normal growth, that is how you choose the strategy, not just the cycle. So this is exactly what you have to understanding strategic choices. So what are the type of choices you are making, which includes the leadership style and everything. Now, here is where you have completed the strategy formulation, creating a strategic intent, analyzing external and internal factors, then making some strategic choices. Then you're finally coming to the last stage, which is strategy evaluation, strategy implementation, and evaluation. What is implementation? Converting your strategy into action. What is evaluation? Measuring the action of the implementation. So this is where it comes. Here you have a lot of tools to do this, and a couple of important things is that McKinsey's 7S framework. That is what you have to understand, and also the digital transformation. What are the various steps which are there, and how do you evaluate? How do you monitor? All of this are there. So this is exactly how the flow of subject works. At any given point of time, only look at, is it a form of strategy formulation? Is it a form of implementation? Is it a form of evaluation? Within formulation, which one? Which chapter? Which topic? So without doing it, don't answer a single question. Clear? And finally, I'm going to tell you score maximizing this thing. So right now, I don't know what is strong for you. Okay, we have time from, let's say, 1:45 to 5. This is the time between FM and SM. If you're good, it's very hard to get 25 plus 25. I don't know many people who exactly get that. So you might have one additional advantage. So what I would recommend is, whatever is stronger for you, 1:45 to 3:30. Write as if there is only one paper in this exam. Don't even touch the other one. Neither the MCQs nor the questions. Only stick with an objective of scoring 30 plus in this. So go ahead with the objective of getting 30 plus in one of this, because the more time you spend, it will improve accuracy. Because right now what is happening is the answers with a sense of random urgency when you're writing. I see, even your answers will be evaluated like MCQs. Right, wrong, right, wrong, right, wrong. There is no between. So I'm scared that you're reacting impulsively. Let's say even if SM is your strongest subject, you take your time, start processing all the rules which we normally discuss, the whole good. But this is a timeline. If you have disproportionate difference, let's say you did not do FM at all, you're not confident of FM at all, then what should be a strategy? Score 30 in SM plus 12 in FM, right? FM. If see, now I'm not planning for May attempt. We're talking about January attempt. So what is not done is not done. You have to focus on what can be done from now. So this is exactly what, for this to happen, 1:45 to 3:30 is fine. If it's required, stick to 3:45, because if you don't know much in the other subject, why waste time? Sit here, maximize the score with accuracy. When you pick up the other subject, start with MCQ and finish the rest of the questions to the extent you can, right? So this is exactly how you can look at. If it's equal, great. If it's not, if you want to get this, for getting 12 to 15 marks, don't waste more than 1.5 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes, okay? And at any given point of time, get to the framework, write the framework, use rough work. Even for FM MCQs, use answer sheet. I already told you. So for everything, use rough work. Half of the answer sheet should be rough work, not to be evaluated. For SM, for even FM, because you have to get mental clarity. Otherwise, you're using words very loosely, which is the biggest disaster in most other papers. Don't write a single random loose word. You'll be tempted to write something that will destroy the direction. Create, learn, think about it, get to that framework, get to the specific chapter, get to the specific topic, and then identify, think about it. You should be able to know from where you're picking up. It has to be, don't set the computer randomly, which folder, which drive, ABCD, which folder, which file, which subfile, or which sheet, which sentence. That is exactly how you pick. Okay, if you do this, you'll be able to maximize. The way you utilize the next 4 hours will save you 4 months. So 4 hours, if you put an extra mental intent, if you act lazily or whatever it is, this is a problem. Again, this is not to create stress, but this is a reality. You are not allowed to feel stressed, because do you want to get stressed for 4 months or 4 hours? 4 hours stress is a luxury. Don't get into a self sympathy trap. If you're feeling stressed, if you accept stress, it's luxury, because you are not paying attention to what you have to do, and you're saying I'm stressed. What nonsense is it? You're supposed to do this. Now, stress is when it's coming. You said I'll deal it after 5 p.m. Let's say somebody is dying. He has only 2-3 minutes because of a heart attack. Should the doctor say I'm stressed? What nonsense is it? When you have only 2-3 hours to fix your career forever, you can't get yourself disguised on the stress. Because last exam, I'm saying this. Initial exams, you have to manage your mind for multiple levels. Now you know that at 5 p.m. you can literally, take rest forever for the next unlimited time, right? So don't let this kick in, and don't get into the self-sympathy mode that I'm stressed or nonsense. Stress is not acceptable. Remove that shit and focus on that very clearly. Done? All the best.